If you're of a certain generation, when you think of sharks, you probably think of this.
And if you're from a different generation, a younger generation, you might think of sharks this way.
Will the real shark please stand up? Are sharks the terrors of the sea, or as friendly as Baby Shark?
Well, William McKeever has some thoughts on that, an ocean conservationist. He is author of the new book, Emperors of the Deep, Sharks, the ocean's most mysterious, most misunderstood, and most important guardians.
He is on a mission to change the way we view sharks. And Mr. McKeever, thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
So, what prompted your interest in sharks?
You know, I've been around the ocean my whole life, and I've always been in love with the ocean. And when I found out what's happening to sharks, it made me realize that these are animals that are misunderstood. And so I went on a journey to understand sharks, and I came away with startling information about sharks, and really addressed the notion that when you go swimming in the ocean, it's actually the sharks that have far more to fear about humans than the other way around.
Well, we were talking earlier, and I think as a kid growing up, you know, riding the waves, we had this freedom, but now as an adult with children and all that we hear in the news, you know, I'm afraid. We're afraid that the predators that, you know, are harmful, that we have to be fearful of.
And Debbie, I can tell you that fear is completely misguided.
Okay.
If we look at the reality of the interactions with sharks and people, it's extremely rare to be attacked by a shark.
But when you are attacked, the results aren't always good.
You know, that's obviously no one wants to have an encounter like that, but the reality is people talk about it's a shark attack. Yeah. The severity of these attacks is no more severe than really a dog bite. And there are some, on average, about 50, 55 attacks. And most of them have a bite on the ankle or on the leg, and it's not very serious at all.
Of course, great white sharks are different, because that would not be a dog bite. Very large, gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex type dog.
Well, actually, people have been bitten by great white sharks and survived and had a great tale to tell. The few big sharks that are out there can be dangerous, but those attacks, again, are very rare.
We have some video of you right here going into...
my whole journey.
You're going in a cage. Where was this, by the way?
This was in the Bahamas, and I'm on a reef dive, and this is with Caribbean reef sharks.
Okay. And are they docile? Are they?
You know, sharks are extremely intelligent animals. They're very curious. So as you can see, when I entered the water here, I'm a strange object to them. So they're coming around and they're checking me out. If they were really interested in having me for lunch, they had a perfect opportunity right there to finish me off in short order.
Would you do that, Debbie?
Never, never, never. But we were also saying never, ever, never. But they're often, the shark attacks that we hear of, they're often mistaken, although they are not interested in us, they're often mistaken the surfboarder as food. And so how do we coexist? How do we head to the beach and feel safe?
Yeah, that's a great point, Debbie. They're making a mistake when there's an attack. They think a surfboard is a seal, which is their prey item.
Right.
So when we go in the water, I think we have to recognize that we're entering a wilderness area. And so we just have to be cautious. If we see seals, probably not a good idea to be swimming in the water. But if you stay within the breakwater, it's very safe. Sharks are nocturnal animals. They're resting during the day, so they're way out at sea in deep water.
We want to show you some video of a hammerhead shark. This is one of the more unique sharks out there. But they can still attack. They have those eyes on either side, and it's like a hammerhead. That's why.
Yeah.
Where do you see these?
Hammerhead sharks, again, it's been blown up. They're these dangerous sharks. They're really not interested in people. They have been programmed to eat fish. So when they come across a human, they usually just swim away. And when I wrote the book and I had this experience with sharks and diving with them personally, I saw how magnificent, how beautiful they are. That's what people should think about when they think of sharks, how crucial they are to the ecosystem, how magnificent they are.
What do you make of the big increase in great white sharks off the coast of the Cape, which a lot of Connecticut people go for vacation?
Yeah, Dennis, that's a natural occurrence because the seals have made a comeback. And the seals were practically eliminated a couple of decades ago. They're back. Great white sharks eat seals. So we need those sharks to actually control the seal population, because otherwise the commercial fishermen are going to have a serious challenge in their business.
Do not swim where there are seals.
No, do not.
The moral of this story. When
But
you're
we
at
have, we have a lot of seals in Long Island Sound, yet we don't see great white sharks come here.
Yeah, there just aren't enough seals, and most of the fish are here are very small. The sharks are off of Montauk, so if you're thinking about swimming in Long Island Sound, it's incredibly safe. There just aren't real sharks. I mean, they're little small sharks. I mean, there are over 500 species of them. Most of them are actually only 2 or 3 feet in length. It's only about 4 or 5 sharks they're big enough that we have to again, not think about, but just recognize.
Why do you think they became such villains? You know,
Jaws.
And people are obsessed by them. I mean, there's no
Jaws
movie.
didn't help.
Yeah, and people
Right?
aren't obsessed with tuna or squid or all these other things out, jellyfish, which are dangerous.
Yeah, you know, Debbie, you're right. It was Jaws that came out as a kid growing up.
That was it.
I was in the water surfing and didn't think about sharks. And after the movie came out, the only safe place was a stand-up shower. You know, the thing is that the reality, and Peter Benchley, who wrote Jaws, realized the huge mistake that he made, and he spent the rest of his life trying to correct that misperception. These sharks are not hunting people. If they were, it would be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
The reality is we need those sharks to help preserve the oceans. And I talk in the book about how crucial sharks are to maintaining the marine ecosystems, reef systems, seagrass systems all around the world. If we lose sharks, we are in serious trouble.
Right.
And they're good for tourism, apparently, in Chatham and Wellfleet, and all those people just hoping for a glimpse of that fin. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us here today. Mr.
Thank you for
McKeever will
having
be
me.
at the Meigs Point Nature Center in Madison on Friday for an event that gets underway at 5:30 p.m.
Yes, he'll be sharing exclusive clips from his work in progress documentary, doing a talk along with a Q&A and a book signing as well.
Looking forward to that.